We're talking so high, the aliens want us. Only on Leading Out Loud.
We're in the aftermath of a powerful new moon in Libra.
And we're talking about peace as a power move tonight. Leading Out Loud. Stay tuned.
I don't just talk stuff and repeat stuff. I'm living this stuff.
And you can thank me for covering your astro.
Leading out loud. Leading out loud. Leading out loud.
Welcome to Leading Out Loud, the spiritual shift show that's luminous and discerning. I'm psychic astrologer Christopher Witecki, the sensei to Sirius Joy. Oh, are you? I can't hear you, Scott. Can you guys? I hear you. Leading Out Loud.
Muted. I was muted. You hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. So I'm Scott Cruz, psychic medium and mentor with scottcruzpm.com. How are you doing this week, Christopher? How's everything going?
I'm all right. You know, there's a lot. I mean, the end of Libra has been tough, man. Like, just because I think Libra is so soft, you know, like it's a soft energy. And so things throw out that scale easily, kind of thing. But overall, I mean, from this place in my life, straight A's, you know, as far as like, honestly, like as far as the effort, you know, I don't know if that people give me straight A's, but I give myself, you know, A's for effort, because I don't think any man can do what I'm doing, you know, like, so I feel good about that, do my best and try to be good to myself in the meantime. That's the hard part, you know?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that's what Libra, you always have a difficult time in Libra season. I feel like it's always
I do.
Harsh.
Yeah. do you too? I mean, I do. I tell him, I said last year, that was my hard time. You guys are like, is this guy full of excuses? Well, now you know. No, it's just, it's lifestyle for Tauruses. It's lifestyle. And for me, as the Leo rising, it's my mind. So it's like my mind going back and forth, my lifestyle going back and forth at the same time. Too many things moving, too many moving parts.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I've been kind of like stopping and smelling the roses type of thing, you know, like taking a break from the mundane and enjoying just like going for a walk. You know, we have fall here. So it's like the leaves are like gorgeous, like yellow, red, and orange. Yeah. So just enjoying that, you know, season right now. So I've been keeping it very simple, but you know, there has been some challenges where, you know, I've been, you know, faced to like, do I really want to confront this, or can I nurture and confront at the same time? I'm like, I'll nurture this and confront at the same time. So have a couple. It's usually Libra season. I have people who are really testing my patience, but I'm kind of in a mood where like, I'm not in the mood for it. So just kind of put it in place, you know? So
I'm thinking I'm getting like ascension tests. You know, like these are tests like, you know,
for me too.
I'm like trying out for like, you know, ascension school, I think. You know, and so all the stuff, the classic stuff that goes back in history is like one last time in a way you never thought of, boom, you know, kind of thing. And so it's like, whoa. But at this point, you can't spook me anymore. It's just like, okay. But I also feel this other calling too, where it's like, okay, that's it. Sometimes for me, I don't know. I work so much, as you know, that sometimes you just get bored and you need something to like kind of like make it exciting again. And so, you know, sometimes I like it when the world just challenges me everywhere. Because I'm like, sweet, this is going to be, now I can focus and I don't have to worry. You know, it actually motivates me.
Sure.
Actually, when I hit a challenge, I'm motivated. It's hard to stay motivated when things are going great, actually, for me, because I'm a fixer.
You know, when things go great too much, I get a little bored. So sometimes I feel like I crave a little more challenge. You know, I crave something to like push me into like mode. You know, I don't like to be where I'm just not, like you said, not in like thinking mode or projecting mode, or, you know, so and that's creative. And that's to me being creative. A lot of people say creating reality. I'm like, creating reality means that you're actually taking these experiences and you're turning it to something unique in your life. And so I think we're not having those challenges. We're not being creative so much.
Well, we went into a lull energetically. I mean, first of all, I haven't seen Hollywood be creative in 20 years. Like, we're not being fed anything new or interesting. You know, like AI is the latest thing we've ever had. Like, we have not had anything new. We've been thinking along the same terms for forever now. You know,
right?
So that's part of it. I think the planet, though. I mean, energetically, all the planets. It's like we were coming to the end of a cycle, so it really wasn't about creating anything except an exit.
Right.
You know, like and creating a nice close to this story, to close to that story. So. You know, but I actually have, I mean, when I can't remember, was it the eclipse? It was the eclipse. The last eclipse, I was just like, bing, like suddenly it just turned on and my creative self just went, whoa. But like, unfortunately, I don't have the time. So like now it's like creativity is like be able to sit down and create something fun, like what you did at the beginning of that video. By the way, good job on the video. Just so you know, good job on the video. That was good.
I'm having you show me Grok and I'm like having a blast with creating a whole bunch and stitching it together and editing it. So I mean I've been so in that creative mode.
You know what?
Music.
We're gonna have to. We should start rating the AIs. We're like, okay, Grok, that makes you a 3. Ding. ChatGPT, I'm sorry, Studio 2.5. Boom. You know, Gemini, you're not even on the map. You know, we should. Someone's got to keep paying attention to it. And the thing is like Grok just did kick ass, man. Like they created this, video engine that basically you take a picture, you put it in there. I'm a full like super Grok, like I don't even know what it costs me, like 20 or 30 bucks a month, but I don't care because it's a profession that we need this. These
$30 a month, 23. You got it for cheap. It's $30 now, and they even have a plan that's 300. For like the super. I think you just can do like anything unlimited with the 300.
If I can do a feature film, I'll pay it. If I can do a feature film, I'll pay it.
You probably can.
You probably can. We might have our little time limit lifted. We should look at that, what it costs. It's a write-off. But we're at a point now, you guys. If it's like you can, well, you saw that. I mean, he won't go into all detail, but like you basically type in a sentence, like you say you want this to happen to the picture, and it does, and it looks realistic. And so we're at a point now. I was talking about film school because in film school you had to like draw every single frame because I was going to be a director. I was like, God damn it, I hate this. Like have to draw every frame exactly, and I'm not an artist. And oh my God, I think to myself, oh my God, I can basically shoot a little miniature version of the film nowadays with AI. Each one of those being the your layout for the film. So it's crazy how much we're leaping. So if you imagine it now, you can have it done. Anything you imagine can just be done. Anything. Yeah. So it's like whoa. And pretty realistic, and a little bit of humor in there.
Totally. I think this technology has been out like decades ago. We always get it late, right? As the world society, we get it so late. They've been having this for a long time. I just think the whole reason for that is not so much for an agenda, but they have to it takes a lot of processing power and to do these things in these servers and to cool it down. And so they have to find ways to be efficient, for all of us. So
I think this is all recent. I mean, anything we knew about it years ago, we knew we could do it. We knew how to do it. We had theories for a long time. And probably stole stuff from Alien Crafts and stuff like that, but I don't think we had the it's the manufacturing that's a problem. It's like all the chip manufacturing over in Taiwan, is really why this is all happening because they they just don't stop with their technology to make chips, and as a result, chips can be made faster, and every year they're made faster chips, right?
Of course,
and the factories that can produce them. That's the other part.
You remember back in the 80s, the computer was like the size of a room was only like 500 megabytes and the computer's that big. Now we have like, gigabytes and terabytes and little sticks like this now. So, we'll get there.
We had like a 46 meg hard drive.
Yeah.
Our first Dell, my dad went Dell from the beginning, he felt Michael Dell's stuff. He's an engineer. Crazy. Well, we're in this place now and, it's fun. We're going to have some fun. I think it's time. Honestly, this is like sort of where we're going with this. I feel like, I don't know what it is. It's totally eluding me. I'm going to get my own problems that are hitting me, frankly, my own challenges. So like now at this point, I'm like, Earth, you have problems? Oh, okay, fine. I'll come out at work and talk about it. But I got my own, I don't know. Now I'm wondering, is the frequency wars that everyone's own shit hits them? And it's not something global. Is that everybody gets their own crap come on at them? Because
that's interesting.
For me, I'm passing tests, man. They're coming left and right, and these are themes that go all the way back to the beginning of my life. And so I know this is like a final. I'm getting finals in.
Yeah, and that's interesting spinning. So that everyone's like the global, agenda. It's like, what if it's our own karma that we're living that's creating all these results, and it's really us? And when we have our awakening and our enlightenment, then all of a sudden things do actually change magically and quickly. So I think that's what we're going to experience. I think that is a real awakening. Is that we've changed so much, we've altered so much. The things that have actually been rendering our limitations just kind of like snap out and disappear, and we'll think it's magic. We'll feel like it's a resurrection, or a rapture. We'll feel like that, but it's just like we've shifted so much that I think that these limited paradigms just break, and I think that period for me is what's going to be kind of magical, more metaphysical, more like 5-6D, because I think we'll start seeing a lot of slippages like that, at that time.
Well, I mean, I'm a person that's always gone the extra mile to make something work. And that's really turning out to be a bad idea, in the long run, as I'm like, my wisdom is going like, why are you bridging yourself to a crocodile? Why? Like to myself, but the thing is like, I think I'm at a point now where I'm like, no, I'm not gonna, like, it's okay that, I can't relate. It's okay that I can't relate. It's okay that because I always worked hard to relate to everybody.
I've had that same problem my whole life, and I realized you can't relate to everybody. And even if you could be so keen and so refined on your approach, there's always gonna be somebody that's gonna not take it the right way. So, I had to really kind of understand that part, and and I always want to help everybody, get through to everybody. It's like it's just not possible. It's not realistic, And so that's
Yeah.
a kick in the nuts. That's a kick in the nuts of someone who wants to help and and mentor. It's a kick in the nuts, but it's something that's also freed me of that responsibility, and that's just happened just recently. Someone just I was giving so much care and nurturing to someone, and they spun what I said out of context and kind of demeaned for my approach. I'm like, what? And so, and I didn't get upset. I was just like, look, I had to re-explain, and this is what it is, so if someone doesn't grasp it, you can't blame her. You can't blame yourself for that, and I think there's something that where I used to blame myself for that, and so that's Libra season helped me change a lot of that aspect.
I think
guilt.
that everyone around you is a reflection of something you're working on.
Yeah.
So everyone you draw on, so you're working on something with that person. You don't realize that you're kind of both playing roles, and it's a reflection of you anyway. So it's like I think you just go from awareness where you get caught in like playing it with them, and then you go, wait, why them? And you realize, oh, there's a step behind this, which is and what I've learned, the step behind it is the way you treat yourself, like the way you respond to yourself, is actually I'm finding out. I think the magic, golden pixie dust that makes things happen, because we thought it was always out here, but if you just respond in here, and that's what I've been focusing on. I mean, so I've been trying to practice my own preach, really, honestly, because I've had a lot of stuff come in and I've had things hit me, and now I finally stop having to practice what I've told people to do, because I was going through a real smooth period there where it was an issue, but now I'm having to eat my own medicine, you know what I mean? Which isn't bad. Actually, it's cool, and then the producer is like, "Oh, this is great." We've got documented me using my own stuff, but I really am in a place where I'm like, thank God I was able to channel this stuff.
Well, I think for all of us, it's hard for us to really understand that sometimes we're in the correct, because I spent the whole time judging and taking the fault for things, and things I shouldn't have taken the fault for, responsibility for things. So it took me time to realize, no, I'm good here. I'm not the blame here, right? And so in these situations where I'm not the one that is off here, it took some time for me to allow myself to say that, because I've always wanted to be humble and always look within to say, there's always something I can change, but that's been my lesson. And so when I had that situation in how I responded, I was like, wow, I didn't feel guilty. I felt like I stood, with my own power, and I also did not get defensive or about it. I finally found the peace of that, not being responsible. So, and I think a lot of us have a hard time to say we're correct. Those of us who are very humble and empathetic, it's sometimes we get lost in that, and we end up doing the things that we don't want to do and behave the ways we don't want to behave unconsciously. We become the person we want to become because we're resisting allowing ourselves to feel like, no, we're correct on this. And so then we don't go off the deep end, and the self-love.
I mean, I'm the same way. But the hard part for me is, and this, I don't care what it sounds like, but the fact that they go away thinking they're right and I go away thinking I'm right, and that just bugs me. But I know that is just something that you can't expect. And for whatever reason, I have this deep calling to convince them that I'm, not that way. But then I realize it doesn't matter if I am or not. Whatever they need to see and believe is going to be what they need to see and believe. And I can't.
100%.
So I have to just get out of that care at all, kind of thing. And which is fine. I don't even know where I got that self-conscious, to be honest. I didn't try to be, I find myself like that. I didn't realize I even was doing it, Could be just a result of my childhood, who knows? But you catch yourself in that. But I think these types of things is what we're expiring now. This is, Scorpio's it. You're right. We'll talk about this in a minute when we do the planets, actually. But Scorpio's it. That's when you cut stuff out for good. And Scorpio is for good, right? So, So speaking of for good, we're going to focus on peace around the world tonight, Scott.
That's right.
Our headlines of the week are going to talk about nothing but peace. All right, so let's put up some headlines.
Piece of pizza over here.
For instance, the Gaza peace plan at a precarious moment, according to the UN. Reports of civilian violence and casualties on both sides. See, you just can't help it. When I feel it, the energy of it just hits me hard, man. I had a thought about this the other day, and I was like, the way I rationalize this stuff is that although I hate it, I don't want it at all. It's because I did it in past lives. I know I did it in past lives. I know I was violent. I know I did wars. And the reason it makes me sick is because I know I did it and I don't feel bad about it. I feel bad about it. That's really why I feel bad. That's the truth. I have memory of it and all this other stuff. So, but I think to myself, God, maybe everyone has to go through that at some point on the earth. Maybe that's part of the earth tour. You go through that. That's just as horrible as it is, it's like it seems like there's always fresh, carnival riders coming in and going through the stuff that we thought we were over 100 years ago or 200 years ago. We thought maybe civilization can get past that shit, and it's like not some civilization, right? And I'm not saying we're perfect. I'm just saying I'm done with violence. That's for damn sure. I'm done. I don't see why humans need to deal with that at all. Like, it's just we're at a point now where we really should stop violence. But that's my point now. Let's stop our violence, guys. Period.
Well, I mean, I always say that's where empathy comes from, because you experience it in your previous incarnation. You've kind of come full circle with that. So, if people who lack empathy, I just feel like they're undeveloped, karmically. And so I feel like we all need to go through those cycles. How else are we going to evolve? So we signed up for it. A lot of us lived those types of incarnations, and some that are living it now. And so we can't judge that. And I think if we ask ourselves, what is their karmic experience? It might make sense, and especially when we look at someone who's suffering, right? We can look at that person's like, that's horrible. But then if I told them, well, that's Hitler reincarnated. Oh, well, good, he deserves it. See how the tone changes with people all the time? So if you understand there's a purpose of that individual's evolution, you won't feel so helpless. But that doesn't mean we take a step back on fighting against those things. That's what we're at, to revolutionize. And I agree. I've experienced a lot of that too, because why I have the pain, I can relate, because we've been there, in our previous incarnation. So we still need to carry on the revolution of change too, even though people have cycles. And so, I think, I totally agree with that in that sense. And I look at that, it breaks my heart, because we've been there, done that. And we also understand how unnecessary a lot of it is, but on the soul level, they're all benefiting. We're all benefiting from all that, even the observance of such. We're evolving.
Well, I mean, we are. And I'm to this day still convinced that this is a video game. I mean, not a video game, but God's conscious, God's technology. But like basically that this is all just to see what would happen. Like I think we're looking at each other like a fish, like an aquarium up there. We're just like looking at our little avatar like an aquarium. We're just like watching ourselves run around the earth do shit. And we're like, that's so cool. Just like we're doing with AI, like I think it's a weird, like I'm just a creation of my creator, which is my higher self that punched us in and paid whatever, soul dollars for it. Right. Let's go to the next headline. All right. Ukraine-Russia war. Peace talks appear to be collapsing. Planned summit between Trump and Putin in Budapest was postponed after Russia rejected an immediate ceasefire.
Right, of course.
Well, immediate ceasefire. I mean, that seems like Putin's at least he's basically a bat, like in a Bonds film. He's like a gambler that's going to last for a long time at the casino.
Sure.
The way he's betting stuff, he just like keeps betting. And I think the Bond film in the casino, I can't remember what that one was, but it seems this is what I feel like we're in.
Yeah, and I think, again, this is not a surprise to me that, the meeting was postponed. I feel like, Trump's going to come pull and Putin's going to pull back. There's always going to be that kind of back and forth energy with this, so I'm not surprised. But, there's always going to be a postponement for peace. There's always going to be a fight for peace in this situation. So, I'm not surprised about that. And a lot of people say, there's more violence now than ever. I'm like, I don't know. We used to like hang people, stone people in the middle of the courtyards. We used to behead people like naturally. So I think we've come a long way. I just think people are seeing a lot more people being expressive of how they're feeling, and that kind of conflict that doesn't always interpret to violence, but we've been so much more violent in previous ages. So but I think that if you look deeper at what's going on here, we actually are on the road to peace. If we look a little deeper about how things are shifting and how people are more conscious now,
even with the wars we're having, we're probably still at a low death rate, like compared to where we were like 500 years ago. People were dying at this time, like dying of.
And we're talking about peace. Yeah, but we're talking about peace now when it comes to these things. We're talking about peace deals now, so it's in discussion now in our consciousness.
Well, it's expected now. It's expected,
right? It's exactly.
Yeah, that's what's most important. Let's go to European countries for 100, Bob. European countries working with Ukraine to develop a 12-point peace plan. Okay. Key elements of ceasefire along current front lines, international monitoring, and rejecting major territorial concessions to Russia. Well, this is like watching paint dry. I mean, to me, whatever. And I don't mean to be disrespect, because our government is so screwed up here. Like, we are so screwed up in the United States. We know it, by the way. We know it. And we don't, we know it. It's just, so you're out there and you're looking at us like, we fucking know. We don't know what to do about it. We're not quite sure. We know how out of control it is. We do. And it doesn't get talked about or put on our news, but that we all know it. We all talk about it. And in Europe too, it's like, what are they doing? When I look at that one, it's like, just I don't know. It's really all one, big hoo-ha.
Well, I think what's slowing us down is the fact that people like identified with their political party and who they voted for. So therefore, whoever they voted for can't do no wrong. So we got into this like argumental defending the politician. And I'd say, I don't care whoever I vote for, I hold under massive scrutiny. They better do what I wanted them to vote for. I'm not going to make excuses for them. And so too many people now have turned this into a sport. They're like making excuses for their politician because they didn't want to make like they lost the sport. And this is what's really hurting our country. And this is what's making things go even more crazy right now. You know, and allowing these corrupt politicians to use our country as a pawn, basically, in their game, in their business.
I'm just gonna keep saying it now. I've decided. I'm just gonna keep saying it. I think we need to fire everyone. I think the country needs to just fire everyone. I think we should just be like, okay, we're Congress, everyone elected. You're all laid off. We got to start over. We have no faith, and just who knows? Maybe take a year and a half to replace everybody. I don't know. We just coast for a year and a half and just replace it. I feel like I would start over, like scratch. There's nothing in the Constitution.
Have you watched Congress hearings? It's like a Jerry Springer show sometimes.
It is.
How they're bickering. It's like they really talk.
Have you watched England's? You know, they are literally like a Monty Python show. It's like, whoa, something crazy. We're crazy. All right. Our next item on the bid today is No Kings protests draw mass turnout across to decry Trump. Demonstration in U.S. cities described as largely peaceful. Estimated 5 to 7 million people attended across the U.S. That's a lot.
I will say, like, we had one in Reno, Carson, and Lake Tahoe, and so we kind of drive through because we were going to Lake Tahoe anyways for some cookies that we saw someone make, and so we saw them, and yeah, they were very peaceful. They were like people cheering, dancing, and so yeah, it actually was. I know, like years ago they were saying peaceful protests when it wasn't peaceful protests. They were burning shit down, but in this case, they have been. People were handing out drinks and snacks, and the three I've been to were big, and they're pretty chill, pretty cool.
They're all kind of like. That's so America. That's so America. We're like just handing out like little grocery snacks that we haven't even made ourselves.
What's the water? Like they were so. Yeah,
what's interesting about that to me is, this is Pluto is where it was in the American Revolution, and back then it was about King George, and the No Kings thing was alive at that same time, but it was actually England, which is the king. Now, we're accusing ourselves of being the king, the evil king that's gone down, and to some degree that's true. But I got to tell you. One king can't do it, guys. It's a network. It's a network of different people.
Of course.
Do stuff. Just so you know, it's never one king.
And Trump isn't being stupid on his own. He's got a whole network of people being stupid with him. So he's not the only one to blame. He's got a whole group of people behind him.
I think we should just get some popcorn and sit back and watch this thing. I think we should just watch it. I think our greatest power is to sit there and not comment.
Yeah. I
think honestly, you want to scare the shit out of everyone? Stop commenting. Just stop. Just don't let them guess what you have to think and say. Just let them guess. Let's just they talk about like 3 days of an outage or something, the internet going down. What if we just hijack that bitch and be like, okay, 3 days of not commenting. And we go, see what's like without us, bitches. Amazon, no sales. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, that is really like a moment there.
Well, you hit them where it hurts in their pocket. You don't with the sales, you don't get any sales. That's how you really hit them in the nuts, with that.
It's the fact that the people are united. That's what scares the shit out of them. Is that the people are united. That's what scares the shit out of them. Okay. And
I used to scoff at protests too with these stupid things. I'm like, oh, well, they do, just people screaming. But I feel like it's more about unity now, less about like, oh, I'm protesting. It's just more about let's come together. And I think my tone changed on it a lot. I used to kind of like make fun of that, all the protests. But now I start seeing a little differently. I'm like, people just coming together, and I think that's a good thing too. So we should celebrate.
Right. No, I think you're right. I think it's going to be cool to get along with Americans for a while. And then after the period ends and we do whatever, we'll hate each other again. Right? Like that. I mean, or just be annoyed. I mean, but I don't think we'll ever go back to where we were. I think we've been egged on by media and everything. So
100%. Yeah. I was, we've been gaslit by the media. That's what we've been. That's totally gaslit.
Yeah. All right. So 31 Atlas headed to its closest point to the sun around October 29th. Researchers say that this will provide a key window for observing the mysterious interstellar object. Well, this is is anyone getting a close up of this fucking thing? Like, can we zoom in on that thing or not? Like,
they were showing it like on like NASA was doing a live stream showing that, and it looked like this weird shrimp creature, and then like everything shut down. They ended the stream. So,
wow.
And this question when it's part of Project Bluebeam. I don't think it's part of Project Bluebeam. I just think again, it's a piece of an alien spacecraft. And so I find it interesting how they're being so, make it such a big deal in that sense. But, I guess it's studying, something from an interdimensional, space planet or whatever you want to call it to be. But yeah, I mean, I'm confused on why they're painting it the way they're painting it.
Oh, it really is. I mean, whatever it is, there's some sort of agenda. I mean, there really is. You can feel the agenda. I don't know what the agenda is, but there's, it's just this. We all know that this stuff doesn't happen very often, and all of a sudden it's happening more and more. These kind of stories and these kind of mysteries, and we're led to be mystery here, mystery there. They're talking about UFOs coming up from out of the water again on the news and like saying it's real, it's really real. No shit. Have you not watched anything on the internet? Are you really pretending that it hasn't been around, like floating in everyone's email box for 20 years? Come on. So this is where I'm like.
Someone just said here too that I just watched Bashar say Atlas is, and I've watched Bashar for 20 years.
What is it?
But he's saying that Bashar says Atlas is just an asteroid that has alien technology attached to it. It's taking readings on a variety of categories as it's passing through our solar system. I don't know about the readings part. I do feel like it's alien technology, like a piece of a spacecraft. Do you feel that? It doesn't feel like it's actively. I don't think they would need to have that.
You know what? Honestly, that's what I felt when the honest to God truth is when someone asked me what it was or whatever, you did maybe, or when it came up, I literally saw like an empty ship floating through space, like it'd been abandoned or some piece of garbage.
I said it was a spaceship turd is what I called it when we talked about the last time. It's like a turd from a spaceship that just got, broken off. It didn't feel active to me because I think alien interdimensional beings already been monitoring us and measuring things in different ways. So, so who knows?
Boy, have they.
All
right, so that's it. We'll see what that is. Now, the other thing I picked up, I'll just say it for the record, is like I got the feeling that like it's going to lead to the discovery of like a Gulf Stream in space. That there's like streams, like rivers in space that we didn't know about, and I feel like it's riding along a river, of gravity or something. That's the other thing I picked up on, which is all. I mean, it's totally intuitive. I have no idea. It's just. I
like for that they're starting to see where it derived from. So I think there's a lot to look in with that. It's just I wonder why they're painting it in different ways. Is my question, but yeah, we'll see.
We should talk more honestly about this later. But there's a lot of. I mean, we should try to get. Let's talk about that on commercial. Actually, I'll try the on commercial. We'll take a quick commercial, folks, and we'll be right back.
This Scorpio season, embark on a journey of self-discovery. Create your soul manifesto. Unveil your purpose. Live your truth. Welcome to 40 Days of My Truth and Purpose. Enrolling now, only at Sirius Joy Academy.
Hi, I'm Gwen English. I'm an artist, astrologer, teacher, and lifelong practitioner of the intuitive arts. Join me during 40 Days of Truth and Purpose on a creative adventure with the Heartspeak Oracle, a creative path to self-love. Heartspeak Oracle is a guided creative course designed to help you connect with your higher self, inner wisdom, and divine guidance. As a companion to Christopher Witecki's 40 Days of Truth and Purpose, this journey invites you to create your own intuitive oracle deck. No art experience required. If you can cut, glue, and open your heart, you're ready to listen and let your heart speak, connecting you to your divine truth and purpose. Join me this Scorpio season as we dive deep into the magic of truth and purpose with the Heartspeak Oracle. I look forward to seeing you.
I help people to kind of get in touch with their gut, which some people believe is your first brain now, right?
Right.
And what the coolest part about what I do is that it's not like I sell anybody on anything. Like, people come to me because they know that they need to get to me, either for higher self work, colon hydrotherapy work, how to have like living food in your world, how to create your purpose, how to tap your intuition, how to align chakras, systemic like energy moving through the body. I take care of people to help them to realign their integrity within themselves for their mind, body, and spirit. And the integrity is really the right relationship. It's not like a moral judgment or anything. It's just right relationship. And I feel like a lot of people in this world know that they're not in right relationship and aren't always sure how to get back into it.
All
Gwen's
right.
looking. I love Gwen's ad. She looks great. She looks really fresh. She looks good. She looks happy. Gwen's looking good. I haven't seen Gwen in time.
She's great. In fact, actually,
it's
we announced today Robbie is pretty much stepping down, but she's going to stay for Mega Monthlies. She's going to be part of one show, like our flagship, astrology show for the internet. So like, she's like our flagship. She'll be there for the, the supreme ship, but not leaving. It's a great model actually, but she's got her own stuff she's got to do, and she's seeing everything go down, and she's like, I got to get to my mission. We're like, we get you.
Mm-hmm.
She's been wonderful, and Gwen is stepping in to replace Robbie on weekends with Pep Talks on the weekends. And Gwen, her and I were friends 30 years ago. I mean, she introduced me to astrology. She introduced me.
Yeah, it's amazing.
She said, basically said, you need to learn this. And then she found a teacher to teach me privately. She found my first private teacher, which I made all my family go. And I bought everybody and my mom, my brother, them all like a ticket to this, to learn astrology. No one went but me and mom. Mom didn't even do the homework. I was the only one there doing the homework and doing it.
Yeah,
But it's my only way to have it. But yeah, and that was Danae. She was amazing. Yeah, it just blew my mind how far.
It's awesome. It's great. Yeah.
So it's cool. And I think, one thing I've noticed is like Serious Joy in particular, like the team is forming. Like we're getting like the best people for the best job. Like, and that tells me something's about to happen, other than what we've been planning,
Sure.
The 18. Yeah, totally. And you're part of that too.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. I've been loyal. I've been very loyal, especially to LOL. I'm like, nope,
yeah,
I'm not abandoning the show. I also do great, so no, I'm very committed and loyal.
Oh yeah. Dude, we both are. That's the problem. So, all right. So it's 29 Libra. I'm on the edge of Scorpio, basically, as we shoot this. I think we might be in Scorpio now. I have to look at this, the planets. I don't know if we are. Someone can tell me. But no, it's later tonight, actually. But we're on a killer bus here. We have this last week. We basically wrapped up the Libra week energetically. We were putting the finishing touches. And what is the Libra at the end? It's your relationship to the future. So it's like, is the future bleak? Is the future good? What is the future? Is the future something I'm regretting? Is the future, what am I afraid of? So, that Libra's relationships and like the highest high of relationships is what is your relationship to the future and your life, right? The big ones. And we had a new moon at 28 degrees yesterday. And this is the first of 6 new moons at 28 degrees. 28 is like create a nation, create an empire, it's the highest create there is. It's the highest manifest degree there is. And so for 6 consecutive months, Spirit Universe has us doing nothing but create big things through Scorpio, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Those are the 6 signs that all get it. And then it goes to another new moon's degree. So that tells you right there, the universe, basically God is installing the warehouse for the new earth. Energetically, like the consciousness is there and ready to be filled and grown. And that, it's amazing how that happens. Now, all the full moons for about 4, I think, maybe there's a break, 4 or 5 full moons are 13 degrees. And 13 is exactly what you think. It is destructive. It's an Aquarius degree. So it nets to a 4. But the reason why it's destructive is because we haven't built any of our life on these principles of, go with your heart and follow your heart and let the heart, let like hearts be next to like hearts. That's the age of Aquarius. So when you have like this blast of 13s, when all you're built on is like 8 greed and 9 greed, 8, 9, and 10, like the whole world's built on 8, 9, and 10, it could be kind of an earthquake. So we have like several earthquake karate chops to the, in the next 4 or 5 months, in each month. So that's the big picture of things. So I think, just to wrap up my little segment here, Scorpio is about the boundaries. It's about Scorpio is where the line is, where you draw the final line. There's a part of your soul that does nothing but draw the line. And that's necessary when we incarnate from the kingdom of heaven, because we don't have boundaries up there. There's no separation. So it's a whole new trick for humans or for souls that are playing this game, this adventure game. And so, our ability to have boundaries has also been limited by slavery and things like that, where people just didn't have any option or right or any right whatsoever to say where the line was. So not only is it weird for Earth, but it's like we didn't even get a chance to start on it. The millennials, this is the first lifetime. For millennials, this is the first lifetime they get to have boundaries. That's why they're like so like totally absolute about it, because they're like, calm down. A couple lifetimes you'll be more chill about it, like. But so anyway, so this Scorpio season is going to be, because you can change the boundaries to anything, because you have the glue, and that's what our 40 days of truth and purpose is. By the way, if you don't know your life and where you're going, come fucking take that at my, at our school, our academy, because it is excellent. You'll know exactly who you are and what you aren't. And if you do it in Scorpio, you can't lie to yourself. You're gonna get to the core truth. Like, it's just like a quick band-aid to knowing what's going on. But so I think we come out of this really different. So I'm going to end this with, like, by Thanksgiving, we've changed.
Yeah, which is right around the corner, actually. But, and I've been saying, too, we're entering a period of solidification and crystallization, because as we're karate chopping things out, we're actually solidifying what we want to be left over. And we're getting rid of the things and trimming the fat of things in our lives that have been over-encumbering us with too much of unnecessary energy weight, unnecessary weight when it comes to things that we've been holding on to, that we know that it's not really part of our future. Because a lot of times we have ideas that feel like, I never got that done, or I should get that done. And then we look and we reflect, realize I didn't really want to get it done, nor do I want to even try to get that done. So we're cutting all that fat out, and we get to really kind of have a more of a cleaner focus and perspective of where we're actually going to really place ourselves. We went to a grounding period as far as where we want to situate ourselves, but now we're solidifying things. We're crystallizing things. This is where our manifestations, call manifestations with the air quotes, this is where the fruits of our labor start to blossom, and we start reaping the rewards of what we've planted. And so we'll start seeing those relationships come into gear. We'll start seeing the communities start being attracted to us, but also us being attracted to newer communities too, with the right people in our environments. We'll start finding our voices being met and heard and understood. We'll start finding our creative expressions are being received, and we're locking in the way where we decided that we're going to do things in our own voice and our own unique perspective, without having reservations of whether or not people are, approve or not. So this is a wonderful time. And so, yeah, I like when you said about cutting things out and setting boundaries. It's more about, to me, setting the parameters. If we could use the words, I'm setting my thresholds, my parameters. This is how I'm growing. This is the direction I'm going. And I'm not like a good waver off my path any longer. So we're totally solidifying our future paths, but also allowing the things that are truly meant for us to crystallize finally. And that gives us more of that grounding, solidification, more of a boost and encouragement to move forward. So that's what I feel like is we're embarking on for Scorpio season moving forward. So it's pretty exciting. And I, even looking at my chart, it's a lot of major changes. A lot of what my chart was talking about, more about the public. So it's like interesting. So I've actually become to a solidifying about where I want my voice to be and how I want it to be, portrayed, that I think that now that I've checked that box, then of course is more public involvement. So, so yeah, it's a wonderful period, I feel, in that regard.
Well, I hope it's delightful. I've been telling myself it's going to be delightful the whole time. But for me, delightful is like, multi-lifetime in the coming, where human beings are finally like ready to do something about it. I'm just so grateful if that's it. Please just give me that. Like, just give me that, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see us move forward. And I think it's because we've been confused, tricked, and all these things. I don't think it's really our fault. We never can get around they always, whoever they are, they've always had more information, more intelligence, to handle stuff and be one step ahead. But now it's finally starting to gain, neck and neck as far as education and access to like AI and all these types of things. So it's an interesting moment. But Spirit tells me very clearly, this is it. This is the graduation of Earth. The Earth is going up to the next level. The whole attraction is moving up. I know people know, but it's like, part of the job of this whole game that we're in, this, the simulation, is that heaven like made it like from the beginning, like a cell, and then let it start growing on its own. So it just grows on its own. And so if it's going to grow faster, it's going to take really wise souls that parachute down in, share their knowledge, and grow the damn thing faster. It doesn't happen from like God, like hovering over and like making it all grow. Right.
Exactly.
We go in with intelligence. We go in, we incarnate. The people get smarter. The people are tied to the matrix. They're tied to the game. So the smarter the people are, the smarter the game is. And the game is going to go to the next level. That's what it's doing. And that's what 5D is. It's like more resolution. Just like we went to AI, which is paradoxically weird. It's like, holy crap, I didn't really put the two together. It's like, oh, when we go to 5D and Age of Aquarius, we get AI then? Oh, that makes total sense. How do we do
when people would ask me when I was a kid, like, would you believe in creation or evolution? I was always like, both. Like, there was created and things evolved. It's kind of all is true. And so yeah. And again, people are so afraid of AI. I said this last week too, but I'm like, as machinery is evolving, we have to remind ourselves that we are evolving too. And so now is the time that we need to be asking ourselves, am I seeing things through an expanded view of consciousness, or is it still very mundane physical 2D? So if we challenge ourselves to at least reflect, if we're using expansive aspect of consciousness, we'll know when we're not, and then we'll know when we need to start doing so and start looking at things from a more higher dimensional 5D, 6D, whatever you want to call it, perspective, so we can see beyond, right? And so I feel, this next 5 years up to 2030, in order for life to be easy for you, it's going to require that you have intuition. It's going to require that you be psychic. It's going to require that you're going to be empathetic. If you're not tapping to those abilities and those traits that we all possess, you will have a difficult time moving forward. So that's why I'm trying to help teach people intuition, teach people how to tap into their own energy.
Yeah,
as I do
in my own way.
Yeah. What's that?
Everyone is, look, guys, you're all psychic and you're all telepathic. The problem is that you are dismissing it as your thoughts. That's really it. You just keep thinking it's your thoughts. You think you have one category in your head and it's thinking. And it's like, actually, no, very subtly, they're not the same. They come from different places inside you. They feel different inside of you when they go off. They come out of nowhere sometimes, or sometimes they're logical. Like, you learn the pattern of your conscious. You watch your conscious, you start to see the patterns, like, wait a second, and you realize there it is right there. And once you can find it, then it's always there. It's like, it's never been wrong once I found it. It's always been correct. And I can't believe how accurate it is. I mean, for me, it's so accurate that it's like I always get exactly the answer I want. Now, it doesn't help me, believe it or not, to get the answer I want, because I'm like, oh shit, how the fuck's that going to happen? Like, so when I find out the truth, I don't still know what to do with it. You know what I mean? But it really is something that can be perfected. I think that the next generation of kids are going to fully remember their past lives. They already are now. Parents are talking them out of it, but like, I hear stories all the time. I mean, my friends who have young kids now, my friend Kristen, she's got a son. She's like always sending me little things like, look at that, bro. Like that the kid was aware of all that stuff at a young age. And you hope for that as a light worker too, that your kids are aware like that.
Yeah, well, mine was so accurate, I made a career out of it. So
yeah, anyone can. So, it'll be like a point where it doesn't matter. It's
right.
Like, man,
so what I'm saying is, we have to know that the whole fear of AI stuff, that if the machine is expanding, we have to understand we are too. And so ask yourselves, you don't feel it, how are you expanding? And we can be more in tune to how that's happening, because by 2030, I've been saying this for a long time, psychic ability will be confirmed. Again, it's been confirmed. It's just been suppressed. It's been confirmed in 1940s, but it's suppressed that information.
We use it to plan wars. We use remote viewing to plan wars in the CIA.
Remote use, target,
every day. Like, our government uses it to fight wars. Okay, that's all you need to know. It's like, that's all you need to know. Like, but the thing is that when everyone's aware of how to do it, like, suddenly it just, everything changes. I think that is really the breaking point. I'm thinking, what really tips the scales into like Age of Aquarius, and it's like proof of afterlife. As soon as it's without a doubt that we go and come back, the whole damn game is over, because it's all been fear of death that's driven everything. The necessity for war, everything is all fear of death. And you're like, oh, you mean everyone comes back? Yeah, we just reset the game and you're fine. Like, oh shit. Like, suddenly, what does that do? Does it make a person go, I'm going to go ahead and, hurt this person? Or does it make a person go, oh, they know who I am every life, and they're tracking it. You know what I mean? Like, well, I don't know what the realization is, but it's definitely a shift in everything. That's really what we want. That's why religion's been controlled, I think. I think religion's been controlled, like, so that as long as these idiots don't realize, that everything's fine every year, every life, then, we can manipulate them while they're here.
But I look at things differently now, because I used to be like, oh, it's an agenda for control and all that stuff. And I always said, but why? There is people who want that, but I also feel in the bigger picture, we at those times were evolved. We were chaotic. We needed a sense of control. Those past versions of ourselves, we needed religion. We needed some sort of source to pull us out of our dark ages. So I think those things have been lined up to control us in a way so we can actually evolve and take the next step forward. So we're evolving out of religion. We're evolving out of these other traditional mundane things. And so I just think they've always been needed. I've been seeing things a lot differently lately.
They were needed. They were stepping stones. They could have been the truth. They could have been the truth. Like,
it's part of it. It's all part of the way we're changing. So like the things I used to scoff at, I'm not scoffing at anymore. I'm like, well, that was needed then. Now we're here. This is a different story now. And I tell people, in order for you to understand what you're getting intuitively, I said there are two parts to imagination. We create and we receive. We do both. And so a creative process is a very external. It's a very extroverted energy. You can feel that that overt energy. But when you're receiving something from spirit, it just kind of comes in. You can, if you identify and sit on it, you realize it kind of came in. It's not like I pushed it out. It came in. Where did it come from? And so we're more conscious about how we're receiving information, or the intuition, how we're reading something, or how we're exporting things. We can identify more clearly, oh, I received this information, and we'll at least validate it. And so people say it's hard to trust it. I'm like, what the hell are you trusting in then? Your logic that's faulty from past experiences, or an insight that you just can maybe give some little bit of attention to and see where it goes. And so I think the whole trusting thing is not an excuse to not go with it, because it's hard.
Look, guys, you don't trust anything until you trust it. Like you just observe it. I mean, what I tell people is you just watch it. You just watch the pattern yourself. Like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, interesting.
Trusting in something.
And here's the thing. Well, I start to trust over time. I'm a Taurus, so it's like over time, it's like shit. This is always, always. Or just things that came out, like weird shit that came out as far as premonitions and stuff. And then it happened. I'm like, oh my God. Like I really thought that was just like an amateur, and here's the thing. It's like spirit uses imagination. When you get a message from spirit, you type it up in your body and present it for you with your own artistic ability and your own imagination. So yes, it looks like you and how you would create it, because that's what they're communicating to you is the language of you. Like you're being communicated through language of you, the Morse code that only you know, and the imagination that only you know. And it's exactly how you would do it if you were to do it, only you never requested to do it. You never thought about doing it. It just did it.
Well, yeah, your energy is creative and also receptive. We just have to understand our duality and at least the multidimensional aspects we have. But, it can be difficult to tune in, but, that's why I do offer Intuition Builders courses on my site too, as well as live readings and mediumship sessions. But also I do my live shows every Thursday. Tomorrow I'm talking about Hauntings Decoded, the differences between ghosts, spirits, all that great stuff. It's perfect for Halloween season right now. So I'll also be doing live readings as I always do every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Join me tomorrow. And of course, if you want to book a one-on-one private reading with me, it's scottcruzpm.com. And again, I do offer live readings, mediumship sessions, and also, like I said before, Intuition Builder courses to get you in gear to understand what your abilities are and how to harness them. So check me out either tomorrow.
Is that a Halloween costume?
Yeah, it's a Lucifer type of costume, perfect for Halloween.
Yeah, let's check it. All right.
That's not my regular wardrobe. No, it's.
Do we have a commercial? Do we have a commercial or do we not? If we do, we should roll. Nope.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit, bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruzpm.com to book your own personal session today.
Doing tarot cards. Wow, that was very good. Crazy times, y'all. So let's get into this topic. Let's reframe peace. What is peace? And so our EP suggests that peace isn't passive.
Peace isn't passive. Yeah, and I think that's a good way to think about it, because I think people may associate peace with like no movement or no progression. And I always say, when I'm at the most peace, I'm the most productive. Like I'm not sitting back. And so like peace just means you're at a nice resolve. And peace doesn't mean you're jumping for joy. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Like that's also energy that's out of alignment. Peace is this very solid grounding energy in that sense too, but also connected to spirit. So yeah, I find when I'm in peace, and I'm sure when you're in peace, like just you're most productive, you're most creative, most effective, so yeah, it's not passive. We're not sitting back. And
I'm in at 9. I'm never at peace. I mean, like it takes motion to calm me down. It takes motion to calm me down. I need to be calm down.
But that's what we're saying, Christopher. It's not passive. So if motion gives you peace, it's not passive. That's a good thing too.
No, I agree. It's good, but I don't know if I've ever felt peace. Peace is not compliance without justice isn't sustainable. Peace is not
But wait,
compliance.
hold on a second. Hold on. You said you didn't feel peace. What do you think peace is?
Peace is the ability to be at rest.
What do you mean at rest?
At rest means that you have no need to move, no need to act, no need to do, no needs. You are completely without any energy requirement of yourself or the world of you. You're left alone to just be yourself.
See, my definition of peace,
no triggers.
My definition of peace is that I'm an acceptance of what is and unaffected by it, right? So that's my peace. So that means I can do whatever I want to do. I could be vocal and be at peace. I could stand up for things and still be at peace, right? And so I think that even inspiration is peace, and so I think that we all probably define peace a little differently, which is why I want to stop you on that, because I define it differently. And we all know that peace energy is like you said, no conflict, right? It feels like it's resolved. It feels whole. And so I found my peace through, again, objective, unaffected, and not trying to critique everything that is, and everything's bad. There's an agenda. It's like, it all has its purpose. And when I know this, I feel like everything is perfect. Everything is doing what it needs to be done. And that's my peace, and I could be loud and express, be at peace, or just sit back and be at peace too. So I think the reason why I want to say this, because we all have a different definition of it.
True. And you were actually giving examples of what brings you peace, and so I don't know if that can be the actual what peace is. It's like, so I think this, obviously we're uneducated and we don't have very much common knowledge in the country to talk about it, because we're crafting it for the first time here. It hasn't been something that's been an option.
But I think the reason is because everyone is defining peace in a different way. I think that's why I wanted to bring that up. I think that's why we're not experiencing that.
I don't even think we realized we lost the peace until, kind of like suburbia America. Like, I think my grandmother's generation was in peace. The whole country was in peace. Basically, Washington, Jefferson, all the forefathers, they're all in total peace. It was just nothing but just beautiful wilderness and a 5-mile walk to your neighbor. So it was like, you're pretty much always in peace, always. Mother Nature took it all away, made it happen. And that's really the big issue, is Mother Nature made it happen before. Now, if you go like Mount Shasta, anywhere that's like still Mother Nature, you're in her world, and you are Mother Nature is pulling you into peace and pulling you out of that high strung, city habit. So I think we've driven our people out of their peace and quiet, over all the things we've done. I know some of it's deliberately. I know some of it's like, your phones, your smartphones, and how much we're,
But are we intended to be at peace 24/7? Because if we're at peace 24/7, again, like we said earlier, where's our evolution? Where's our push to, you know what I'm saying? So, I think people think they're supposed to be happy all the time, at peace all the time. It's like, no, we have a range of emotions for a reason. And so, I think that people judge themselves because they're not at peace all the time, or at happiness all the time. And I think you're not at peace if you think that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the one thing about the 12 states of awareness, the 12 signs are 12 ways of being human. 12. And I don't know, all 12 don't want to be at peace. The mind sure as hell doesn't want to be at peace.
Right.
It doesn't want to. Our emotions want to be at peace. I mean, so everything has its, my point is we're not going to ever be one thing ever. So the role of power in peace, apparently, is power not as domination, but alignment. The role of power and peace. So what Erica, because I gotta feel like we should just give her this voice, because this is our executive producer who lays out some of these ideas, and I think they're great. And I think that she should get some credit for like some of these things. This is her 29-degree Libra. She's a 29-degree Libra.
Yeah.
You guys realize that, like, that is a a grandmaster of relationships that she is. She's a grandmaster. She had her birthday yesterday, or today was her birthday. Happy birthday, Erica. Actually, geez. That was a
Erica,
mindless way of saying happy birthday. I'm sorry. I just realized it from astrology, but the point is, like, any 29 is obsessed with, like, mastering their realm. And here she is posing these questions to us. We're like, what?
Right. But when it says peace becomes rebellion or refuse to defeat chaos reaction, you can rebel for peace. I mean, if you're in an environment where you're enslaved to dictators and all that stuff, in order to find your peace, you will have to rebel. Or if you're trying to get out of a cult, you have to rebel to escape, right? And so I think we rebel. I don't think peace becomes rebellion. I think rebellion is where we sometimes have to rebel from things to find our peace and to go against the norm. She's saying
what I was saying by saying don't comment. It's like we would freak the shit out of them if we just were all peaceful all of a sudden. They would just be terrified. Like we'd all become serial killers.
But that's rebellion because you're like, I'm not feeding, I'm not reacting to this, right? Yeah.
She says that is rebellion. She's saying this is a different form of rebellion. But I'm saying to her, it's like, there's no way in hell like the South can do that. You know what I mean? Like, not even that's not true. The South is actually pretty chill, actually. The North actually can't do it, to be honest. People in the North, Chicago, stuff like that, they're they have a hard time, I think, just being peaceful about it. South actually is pretty, the summer, the heat, everything gets you kind of just like chill, actually. But it's just interesting. I don't think everyone can just be at peace on cue.
No, but I think there's a way we can find, these are the good topics always find peace. Like, for example, like I was saying before, finding inner peace when the world is in chaos around you. That's my objective and unaffected, that, state that I'm talking about, knowing that this is happening, what it needs to happen. Trump in office needs to happen. The chaos happening out needs to happen. There's a reason for this. And we can sit back and be like, okay, I'm not affected by it, but I'm also being wise of how I can maneuver with it. Right. So, and that brings a peace too. And I think, again, I'm hearing a lot of people who are watching, like, talking about peace being complacency. And it's like, peace is not complacency. By no means is peace mean complacency.
Oh, no. I mean, I think people are thinking of times where, like, the bully comes in the room and starts threatening someone in front of you, and you just shut the hell up because you don't want to. That is where you keep the peace because you don't want to make it worse. But that's like a 1 out of 100. Like you might. But
sometimes taking the high road of keeping the peace does not create more peace because it enables bad behavior. And so
here's the argument. Here's the area right here.
Exactly.
I feel like the next wave is what she's saying here, which is, you want to change the game. Don't react to their stuff. Like, if you don't react to their stuff, you will change the game. You will. Promise you will change it. Our reaction is what they're feeding off of. So it's like starve them to death. That was my attitude. I'm going to starve this, consciousness to death that's trying to feed off my reaction. I'm not going to give it to them. I'm going to let you starve. Find your fuel elsewhere. And I found that works really well. There's a frustration, there's a burnout, and they're asleep. It's like, because they were feeding off of me reacting. And so I think, I see that. Still, though, people are so angry they haven't processed their own stuff. It's really hard to hold yourself back when you yourself.
Yeah, but we have to stop being so black and white. Every circumstance is different. Every reason's different. So we got to stop being so black and white with everything in general in spiritual communities. It's not so black and white, taking high road all the time. Sometimes you got to take a stand to bring peace for others around too. And so we have to be discerning to understand this. If the people are so black and white, they always only take the high road in certain situations, then they're never going to create peace for those around and be a martyr for people either. So I really feel like everyone's being too black and white about this, and that's why I asked you before about we all have different definitions of peace. And if we actually allow ourselves to embrace our own definition of peace, then we'll probably all live in peace. As silly as that sounds, as simple as that sounds.
We will live in peace. I mean, I feel the earth is destined for that. I feel like that really a lot of the ruckus is man-made, deliberately man-made, just like a little brother that won't stop fucking hitting the drum over and over again at dinner time. You're like, stop it. As kids, we demonstrate these parts for ourselves all the time. Peace and practice. So I do think that, finding inner peace when the world is in chaos around you, that's the next move, guys. Like, so as what we call light workers, I think light worker, find the inner peace, find your peace when the world is in chaos. I think that's the mantra for what has to happen next. When the world goes a little schizoid and goes whatever it does, we have to keep our inner peace. That's, I feel, our job is to stay our peace, because as long as a percentage of the intelligent, grounded people remain calm, the overall tone of everything just stays there. And I think that we are capable of it. And, we're also so tired of seeing the same old shit. It's going to be like, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, part of me is just like, show me something different, like kind of thing. I'm at a point where I'm not getting spooked. I'm not going anymore, so peace and practice. Choose stillness before you choose words. Oh man. Oh, that's a hard one for me.
Well, I mean, this is a simple way of saying, think about what you're speaking about. I mean, honestly,
choose stillness.
But that's another way. Some people have to like sit and be quiet, but I think that that's the practice that we do. This way we can actually think before we speak. I think that's kind of the cliche that she's meaning. So this way we speak with purpose and speak with refinement. I think that's what the goal always is. But that's if people just like, a lot of people reactive, Christopher. I mean, that's the problem with our world today. People just react without thinking, and they're on a program and a loop subconsciously about what they've been fed. So defending that belief, because if they kill that belief, then they're dead. Their identity goes. So it's just respond, react. And that's what we got now. And so the stillness is definitely going to help people to find like where they sit and where they really situate themselves. And then they'll have more peace with that when they're out of a loop. It's like it's like an animal that's suffering. And I see just some people just suffering in this loop, and it's like, it's so stressed. It's a stressful state.
Yeah, it is. And actually, I mean, the step system shows you how conscious stacks. And so, you are not supposed to speak up according to step system. You don't speak or think until step 5. It's the 5th step that you actually bring the mind and the mouth into it. And it's the 9th step that you actually do something about it. So we are bringing the mouth and then 9. We're going 5, 9, 5, 9, 5, 9, 5, 9. Well, you were just describing as 5, 9, like mind, ego, mind, ego, mind, ego, mind, ego. The ego pisses off, the mind takes off. It's like two people fighting, and the ego barks, and then two dogs are barking. The mind barks, and then the ego barks, and then the mind barks back, and the ego barks back, and that's what we're just back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. We solved everything. So yeah, stillness is hard for me, but that's my own thing. I'm kind of like, I don't know, my energy has always been off the hook. Like it's just like I just want to fly like a hummingbird. I just want to do create rituals that regulate your nervous system, breathe, nature, meditation. That's me.
But look, and I tell people, if you can't be still, at least process shit. Like, at least be objective. And I always say the solution for the final thoughts here is to really do things consciously and ask yourself, are you doing things unconsciously? If you are, to be more conscious of what you're doing. A lot of people eat unconsciously and they wonder why they're getting away with their health is bad. Be conscious of whatever you're doing. I would say that's always the goal in whatever you're doing, because sometimes our brain gets stuck in these loops, like I said before, and we're just kind of repeating things unconsciously and saying things unconsciously. And so that's the key to peace. Conscious of how you feel, conscious of how you're treating others, conscious of how you're taking care of your body, conscious of how you're participating in things. And I think once we are aware like that, then we understand where we stand and where we need to go and how we integrate with other people. So that would be my final thoughts on it.
I think people aren't interested in themselves enough. For one, that's part of what holds it back. But my final thoughts do with this upcoming week, because this is going to be the most intimate week with yourself you've ever had in your life. The most intimate week you've ever had in your life. This is the most intimate. When I say most intimate, you're going to get the most real with yourself you have ever gotten in your entire life. And that's mostly because we've cleared a lot of garbage out of the attic and out of all of our psyche. And so we just haven't had this clear of a view before. First of all, we just didn't have this resolution. But it's also because it's like an end of a huge era. It's a huge turning point for everybody. Everyone's done, and ready. And so when the entire population is done and ready for something, watch out. Things are about to change. So you have to know yourself. And that's where I'll say 40 days of truth and purpose. I'm not kidding. I mean, this program is designed to help you know yourself. And that's my final, word as far as Serious Joy is concerned. It starts tomorrow, and all you have to do is answer my questions and follow your chart. And it's very simple. There's ciphers, so you can just like interpret on your own. I have this little thing you just cipher and figure it out of what your plans mean and stuff. And you will see right there for yourself, step by step, where you're honest and you're being honest with yourself, and parts where you see yourself, oh my God, I just tried to dodge that. Why am I dodging that? And so you just see right there. It's like a simple test and education to purpose. So anyways, thank you, Scott.
Final card is the Hermit card, guys. So that means that's all going in within the self. That's all looking within yourself. It's not about the external world right now. It's about you. So Hermit mode doesn't mean you isolate completely. It just means that you're spending more time in your own energy space.
It's what I call wizard mode. And I actually pulled a card, and it's 2 of Cups, which I have no idea what that means. 2 cups.
Oh, that's partnership. That's actually partnership and things coming together. So yeah, I think that with the Hermit card and the 2 of Cups, when you're focusing more on your own abilities, your own energy, you understand how to bring more partnerships in. So I like that came actually right after that. And so, partnership, and that could be with business, it could be with relationships, it could be so many other different modalities, but just understanding that you have a partner in crime is good. When you understand the self, you attract that easily. Someone can mirror and that's all about mirroring energy too. So,
that's true. Yeah, he's right. Well, and that's how it's going to work when we get in. That's how it's going to work when we come into cultures. So I feel, and I'll just say this now because I feel like it needs to be said. Y'all, we're going to all find the people that we like to get along with, and we're going to hang out. That's what's next. I'm not kidding. That's what's next. You're going to find the people you like, and you're going to hang out. And let me tell you, I'm starting to find those people, and I'm having a blast. Because I think that's the next stage. The next stage is really kind of a party phase. We're going to party. And I've always known it's going to happen. I mean, parties, like everyone's just be excited, hang out, stay up late, eating food all night, around the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. Like whatever your version is, it's going to be wow. Just being with like kind of souls. And that's where we're next. I think that's next.
Yeah, sure.
And then it's in that space that when something happens there in that group, that's where we start to get the collective vibe. We're like, well, you're not messing with all of us, like suddenly there's this like, team, because we've been separated. So yeah, Interesting. I pulled a card tonight too. That's crazy. All right, so that's it, folks.
Just let you finish up there. Your final thoughts, but yeah, it's what's next week?
I'm just going to see you next week. We're talking about being fearless and free, just in time for Halloween and Samhain.
Spooky.
Scott, don't forget to share your show.
Oh yeah, again, guys, tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, my live show. Join me tomorrow. Live readings and chat, which I am talking about Hauntings Decoded, Ghosts versus Spirits. So just in time for the holiday. And again, get your live readings in or scottcruiserpm.com. That's how I'm signing off. There's the banner there. I should put fangs on that picture too. So
oh, goodness.
But some maybe a question about the different dimensions of spirit. Is that a ghost, spirit, or soul? So I get into the depths of that and poltergeist that I've experienced growing up too. So yeah, tomorrow night.
Good stuff. All right, folks. Well, don't put up with the shift show. Make sure it's all about you this week and lead out loud.
Good night, guys. You have your show tomorrow too, right? Christopher, we didn't talk about that.
Fridays. Well, no.
Yeah, you have your show on Friday.
I'm moving it to Sunday now.
Sunday. Interesting.
I'm going to move my astrology to Sundays.
Did you get a consensus on that?
No, it's spirit.
It's spirit. Interesting. Okay.
AI says the same thing. No, I'm not kidding. I'm serious. So I've been doing it. I mean, I've always felt like it's kind of a Sunday thing, I didn't want to do church, so I was like, ew, church. And so I never did.
Coming up on Serious Joy, Master Astrologer Robbie Hunt is airing her last self-study haul this Wednesday. Join Robbie for her discussion on the gift of your sun and how owning it changes the world.